Maria Fernandez is standing in a hospital parking lot in Tucson, Arizona, holding a folded piece of paper she can't quite make herself open all the way. She's 42. She teaches 10th grade biology. She has a steady paycheck, a decent 401k match, and a husband who works in logistics. By every normal measure, they are a stable, responsible middle-class family. The paper is an estimate for her son's emergency appendectomy. Insurance will cover most of it, not all of it. The number left over is $4,100. Maria has $14 in savings. Not because she's reckless, not because she doesn't earn enough. She and her husband bring in $91,000 a year combined. But every dollar that comes in has always had somewhere to go. The mortgage, the car payment, groceries, a nicer vacation than last year's because last year's felt so earned. Nothing was ever extra, so nothing was ever saved. For 15 years, Maria's household ran on a simple, invisible rule. Spend first, save whatever's left. And for 15 years, whatever was left was always zero. Standing in that parking lot, Maria isn't panicking about $4,000. She's panicking because she's realizing for the first time that one bad week could undo everything she thought she'd built. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. Maria's household didn't have a savings problem. They had a sequencing problem. And that one word, sequence, is the whole trap. Let's call it what it is, the leftover rule. It's the default operating system most households run on without ever choosing it. Income arrives, obligations get paid, wants get satisfied, and only whatever survives that gauntlet is considered savings. The irony is brutal. The people who think they're being responsible by paying every bill on time and never missing a payment are often the ones most exposed, because responsible bill paying and financial stability are not the same thing. You can have a perfect payment history and zero resilience at the exact same time. I'm Jordan, and this channel exists for one reason: to take the confusing, jargon-heavy world of money and estate protection and turn it into something you can actually use without needing a finance degree to understand your own life. Before we go further, one quick, honest note. Everything in this video is general financial education, not personalized advice. Your situation, your income, your debts. So before making any major financial decision, please talk with a licensed financial advisor, a CPA, or where estate and asset protection questions come up, an elder law or estate planning attorney. Think of this video as the map. A real professional helps you walk the specific terrain of your own life. And if breaking down financial traps like this into plain English is useful to you, consider subscribing. It helps this channel keep making videos like this one, and that's the only ask I've got for you today. Now let's get into the mechanism. The rule that fixes the leftover rule is deceptively simple, and it has a name most people have heard, but almost nobody actually implements correctly. Pay yourself first. Here's what that means in practice, stripped of the vague motivational poster version. On the day your income arrives, not at the end of the month, not whenever there's extra, a fixed percentage moves automatically into savings or investments before you see it, before you can spend it, and before you can talk yourself out of it. The number matters less than the automation. Financial researchers and planners have long pointed to consistent automatic saving, even at modest percentages like 10 to 20% of income, as one of the most reliable predictors of long-term financial stability, far more reliable than income level alone. Plenty of high earners have no cushion. Plenty of modest earners are debt-free with 6 months of expenses saved. The difference is almost never how much they make. It's whether saving happens automatically, before spending, or manually after spending. This connects to a concept called the behavior gap, the well-documented difference between what people intend to do with money and what they actually do when a paycheck hits their account and dozens of small, reasonable-seeming purchases present themselves. Willpower loses to convenience almost every time. That's not a character flaw. It's just how attention and decision fatigue work. The fix isn't more discipline. It's removing the decision entirely by automating it. This is also why emergency funds fail for so many households, even when everyone involved is genuinely trying. An emergency fund built from whatever's left competes with every impulse purchase, every subscription creep, every just this once dinner out, and it loses quietly month after month until a bill like Maria's arrives and there's nothing there. There's a second layer to this that most people miss. Where that automatic savings goes matters almost as much as the automation itself. Money sitting in a low-interest checking account is technically saved, but it's not working. A basic, widely understood hierarchy that financial educators often describe looks like this. First, a small starter buffer of $1,000 or so for true emergencies. Second, employer-matched retirement contributions, because that matches effectively free money. Third, paying down high-interest debt, since few investments reliably outperform an 18% credit card rate. And fourth, building toward 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in an accessible account before additional investing. None of these numbers are legal requirements. They're common sense sequencing principles in your own right order, may differ based on your debt, your job stability, and your family situation. The mechanism, in one sentence, stability isn't created by earning more or spending less in isolation. It's created by changing the order in which money moves, so saving happens automatically in first, rather than optionally in last. Let's see this play out across 3 different households, using the same $91,000 income Maria's family earns, so you can see how much the sequencing choice, not the income, changes the outcome. All figures here are simplified, illustrative examples, not guarantees. Household 1 follows the leftover rule, just like Maria did before that day in the parking lot. No automation, no fixed percentage, savings only when convenient. After 1 year, illustrative research on similar households suggests a common outcome: savings hovering near zero to a few $100s, and a single unexpected expense, a car repair, a dental emergency, an appendectomy, becoming a moment of real financial crisis, sometimes pushed onto a high-interest credit card that takes years to pay off. Household 2 decides to save whenever there's room, meaning after every bill, after every discretionary purchase, they try to put something aside manually at the end of the month. This is better intentioned, but in this illustrative example, it produces wildly inconsistent results. Maybe $300 saved in a good month, nothing in a tight one, netting out over a year to something modest and unpredictable, often under $1,500, still not enough to absorb a real emergency without disruption. Household 3 automates 15% of every paycheck into savings and retirement accounts the same day it arrives, before any spending decisions are made. In this illustrative example, that's roughly $1,100 a month set aside automatically. After 1 year, that's over $13,000 moved into savings and retirement. Not because this household earned more than the other 2, but because the sequence removed the decision entirely. When an emergency bill shows up, it's an inconvenience, not a crisis. Same income, same city, same cost of living. The only variable that changed was where savings sat in the order of operations, first or last. So what does actually implementing this look like without needing to overhaul your entire financial life overnight? First, automate before you optimize. Set up an automatic transfer, even a small one, from checking into a separate savings account on the same day your paycheck lands. Many banks and payroll systems allow you to split direct deposit itself, so the money never touches your spending account at all. Start at 5% to 15% feels impossible. The habit matters more than the number at first. Second, make retirement contributions automatic and, if available, capture your full employer match. If your workplace offers a 401k or similar plan with matching contributions, not contributing enough to get the full match is often described by financial planners as leaving guaranteed immediate return on the table. Again, general education, not a recommendation specific to your plan, which a financial advisor can review with you. Third, separate your accounts by purpose, not just by amount. A dedicated emergency account that you never touch. For anything else, removes the temptation to quietly borrow from your safety net for a nice-to-have purchase, only to promise yourself you'll pay it back later. Fourth, review your beneficiary designations and basic estate documents alongside your savings habits. Building assets and protecting where those assets go, if something happens to you, are 2 sides of the same coin. An estate planning attorney can help make sure beneficiary forms on retirement accounts are current, especially after a marriage, divorce, or new child. A detail even well-saved households often overlook for years. Now here's the live math payoff. Let's follow 2 versions of Maria's family from this exact moment forward. For illustration only, Family A does nothing differently. They keep running on the leftover rule. 5 years pass. In this illustrative scenario, they've absorbed 2 more unexpected expenses on credit cards. They're carrying roughly $6,000 in high-interest debt, and their retirement contributions have stayed flat because there's never quite enough extra to increase them. Family B makes one change the week after that hospital bill. They automate 12% of household income into savings and retirement. The same day paychecks land, and they never touch it manually. 5 years later, in this illustrative example, they've built roughly $70,000 in retirement and savings combined, factoring in modest employer matching and typical long-term market growth. And they've paid off the original emergency bill within 4 months without touching a credit card at all. Same starting point, same income, same city. One rule, applied consistently, is the entire difference between those 2 futures.